Welcome back. Well, we're headed into tax season. Sorry, it cannot be avoided. More than 170 million taxpayers will need to file by Monday, April 18th. That's the new deadline this year. It was pushed back from the usual April 15th deadline because of a holiday that's being celebrated in Washington, D.C. on the 15th. Perhaps somewhat surprisingly, an estimated 45% of all filers would not have to pay any federal tax, in great part due to one very popular tax credit that it turns out more than a few filers are not aware of. And joining us now to help explain that is Gwen O'Shea from the Health and Welfare Council of Long Island, an organization that helps seniors, low income, the disabled, any vulnerable segment of the population. Welcome to our show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, the popular tax credit, as you know, Gwen, that we're talking about is the Earned Income Credit. First of all, explain that to folks who may not be familiar with it.
Sure. So, right now, as we're in the midst of this national presidential debate, there's a lot of conversation around economic stability and tax policy changes. But what we're not hearing is a recognition that historically, low-income individuals pay a higher percentage and send a higher percentage of their earnings to the federal government than those making higher salaries. And so many individuals...
Because they don't have all the loopholes or
exactly, they don't have
deductions.
They don't have the ability to
the high-priced attorneys to help them find a way not to pay their taxes.
Exactly, which is why we're seeing that the gap spread between, the low-income and the working poor and those in terms of the 1%. So many individuals don't realize that even though they're making a lower salary or working wage salary, that they're eligible for not only federal credits, but if they have children, they're eligible for the Earned Income Tax Credit, which could be, for families, almost $8,000 in a tax return.
Yeah, this tax credit, it arose out of welfare reform. It helped to trim the rolls there, and it got more people into the workplace, which was the concept behind it, and then they get rewarded for that.
Absolutely.
But surprisingly, I'm reading this report last week saying that even though 45%, if somebody were to study their taxes, they wouldn't owe any federal tax, not all of those people are doing it, and they're not even sure how many are not doing it. What have you seen that way?
You're so right. The Earned Income Tax Credit is really one of the most effective anti-poverty initiatives that has ever been established in this country, and it's supported on both sides of the aisle, which is really important. The tax credit is geared at families making a certain wage. Currently, those that make $54,000 or less a year could be eligible for the Earned Income Tax Credit, but 30% of those individuals on Long Island aren't claiming it. 30% of individuals. We're talking about almost 155,000 families on Long Island are missing out on that credit, which gets invested directly in their pocket and then therefore directly invested in the local economy. So it's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, and people think it's only for the poor, but that's not accurate based on the numbers you just quoted there, because the income cap has risen steadily through the decade.
That's right. It's risen on an annual basis, and what we're working on, thanks to two individuals in particular, Eileen Ald and Pat Edwards at City Community Development, is a new program called Virtual Vita. Because oftentimes, one, people don't know they're eligible for this credit, but two, more important is that there are proprietary preparers in the community that charge individuals to file their taxes, which they shouldn't be paying for, and they also take a percentage of that return. We've heard stories about individuals also being told they need to pay the preparer for the health insurance credit that they have to pay for, and it's not supposed to be going to the tax preparer. So we're really trying to get the word out so individuals know, one, they don't have to pay to file their taxes, and two, they can use this program called Virtual Vita, which is 15, 20 minutes to file your taxes and then see that return within a week.
Yeah, we hear about scams every tax season. There are many legitimate tax preparers, but here's something special that we mentioned at the top of the show. You can get these taxes done for free. How does that work?
Absolutely. So individuals can call our organization, businesses, small employers who have individuals that may be earning at the $54,000 or less. We're happy to partner, come in either before work starts, during the lunch hour, after business hours, have people come into our office. You can bring a very limited amount of documents to file the taxes. You fill it out with us. Again, it takes 10 to 15 minutes. Within 48 hours, the taxes are sent back to you to review. You can literally sign on your phone and file your taxes with a push of a button.
Would this include people who have maybe a more complicated tax return? Maybe they own property, homes, whatever?
So this is those that file an easy tax return, and again, with an annual earning of $54,000 or less a year. For those that are small business owners that may have more complex taxes, that have deductions deductions to be made. Unfortunately, this program isn't focused on them, but we do know there's a whole 150,000 other families on Long Island that aren't getting these dollars that they've earned and they're due to get back.
That's an incredible amount, and you know, we'll have to watch this as we get closer to the tax season, but it's good for people to know this right now. Beyond the, well, first of all, the 54,000, did you say?
54,000.
Isn't that kind of considered middle income now?
Well, I'm not sure that I would say for Long Island it's considered middle income.
Lower middle income?
We know for a family of 4 on Long Island, actually the Economic Policy Center just put out a new report. Long Island is the second most expensive place to live in the country after Washington, D.C. For a family of 4 to cover their basic expenses, $103,000 a year.
Oh, so yeah, it sounds more like poverty.
Absolutely.
About half of
Which
that.
speaks to the point of why it's so important that we want individuals to get their dollars back in their pockets and not to pay for-profit companies for something that they can be getting for free.
All right, so now beyond the income guideline and the fact that you can't have this complicated type tax return, anything else that you need to prove to be eligible for this?
No, it's a really straightforward process. Individuals that may be in the process of becoming documented citizens that have a ITIN number are also eligible to file their taxes and to get the return. So we encourage all individuals, regardless of their income, as long as it's below $54,000 a year. We have a variety of language capacities available that folks give us a call, and we're here really to help individuals make sure they get their money back in their pocket.
Well, that's the first thing are going to ask after they hear this is where do they go to get this help?
So they should call us. And again, if they're an individual, we're happy to have them come into our office. We're happy to meet them someplace that's convenient. If it's a small business owner or a company that has individuals that are making this $54,000 or less a year, we're happy to set up on-site and bring that service to their employees.
Through the employer?
Absolutely.
So where's the Health and Welfare Council located?
So our main office is in Melville. Our number, which I'm hoping will be rolling on the screen, if not, is 516-483-1110. And individuals can call us at any point in time, and we'll look to make sure, like I said, they get every dollar that they've earned back in their pocket.
516-483-1110?
That's correct.
It's an easy one to remember, too. Okay, well, we have to do it. We have to file our taxes, but here's some tips and ways to get it done for free and maybe get some money back. Gwen O'Shea, Health and Welfare Council of Long Island. Thanks for the good advice.
Thanks for having me.
You bet.